So these fiduciary functions are the strength of the multilateral institutions. If you ask what distinct the MDBs from other financing institutions, is the two things. One is the global knowledge to find a solution to the development challenges, and secondly, very strong fiduciary system. So to ensure that none of the decision making could be wrong.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of IsDB Connect, where we connect you with a number of our colleagues here at the bank who have been working, especially those in this occasion from the operations complex. Brother Amir Ghani has been, I will say, a veteran in the bank, working for quite some time, and he is our guest today. Brother Amir, welcome.
Thank you, Brother Jamil, for inviting me today and giving me opportunity to share about myself as well as my experience within the bank, which is spanning now for over 2 decades now, when I started in 2004 and up till now. Thank you.
2004, that must be a long time. You're talking about 20 years exactly. Two decades.
Yes, it has been a long journey, but really a most rewarding learning as well as growing within the organization.
So tell me, how did you set your foot, your first department, your first job? How did the journey begin?
It has long before I joined the bank. Actually, we had pleasure of hosting Dr. Ahmed Muhammad Ali when I was working in Iran, Tehran, in Economic Cooperation Organization. I have never seen such a human person. And he came, we finished the meeting, there was the prayer time, and he said, I have to go offer my prayers. And we said, we can arrange for you here. He said, no, where do you pray? We said, we are praying in the basement. He said, I'll go over there. And he joined us, and we offered him to lead the prayer, but he said, no, whoever is leading, I'll be behind him. So I think that was the person I know much before I know the institution, Islamic Development Bank. Really, he inspired me, and after this, I started looking for and applied for the job in Islamic Development Bank, and I joined after 4 years. At that time, there was the Department Economic Policy and Statistics Department, where I joined in 2004.
Oh, and what was it like at the time? What sort of job were you doing?
I think really it was a very enlightening experience for me. I joined a department where we had 21 people, 19 of them were the PhDs. And the level of intellect and the capable people I've never seen in my life. And the level of discussion we used to have in our departmental meeting was far ahead in terms of futuristics, how the institution should perform, what should be forward-looking approach. And we used to have at that time a policy committee which was chaired by the president, and we used to present the 2 papers every month showing what is happening globally, how the world is transforming, and what the institution as IsDB has to do to remain relevant within this context. And we are forward-looking, taking much proactive approach at that point of time when the financial crisis came, when the food crisis came. We are well ahead of time in terms of the preparedness to develop and launch a program well in time. So I think that was the environment I joined. Really, it was very inspirational for me. I learned a lot from the people who were around at that point of time.
That was interesting. And then how did you make the transition to move into operations?
I had the opportunity at that time while working with the operation team. I was seeing them day in, day out. We are doing more on the research analytics, but they were applying the real life experiences and changing the operations, how it impacts the people on the ground. So I was seeing that their activities and the effort has direct impact on the ground where we are changing the life of the people. And this interest started to me when I was a student, and I had the opportunity. The World Bank team was appraising a project there. They took some of the students with them to do the benchmark survey. And we have seen the intensity of their work. And these people who are coming from the developed countries, spending time in the very remote area where I myself could not have imagined living there, sitting with the local people, try to understand the context, and then doing the surveys, getting the information before they even started preparing the project. So I think really it gave me inspiration that in terms of the effort, the thinking they were involved, what they were thinking, which was 10, 15 years ahead of the time, how the life of these people could be changed, how we can improve it, how we can make it better for them. I think that solution would have only come from the outside with the global knowledge the World Bank had and not from the inside. I think this was the inspiration for me to really see the development. Before I moved on the development side, my family, my father, he was a civil servant. And the only inspiration I had to join the civil service, which I did. I worked there for 3 years before I moved to the United Nations Development Program, where I had opportunity to really work with them to develop the monitoring and evaluation system back at that time, 3 decades ago. And this helped us to really monitor the project more effectively, have the development programs done on the system, and then also presenting the progress in the cabinet at that point of time, that how these development projects, what are the reason for the delay, why we cannot complete it on time. Similar issue what we are facing here, why we cannot take disbursement on time, why the project approved for 5 years takes 7, 8 years to complete. So all these issues were there, but we have seen the evolution in terms of the technologies, the new practices that has really brought a lot forward the development that the MDPs are pursuing.
Right now, you are heading a division that is critical to everything that we do in the member countries, procurement. And you had even in the discussion with the vice president, he talked about that. Our colleagues perhaps would like to hear more. What is the function of that division, and how do you work to ensure that our member countries get what they deserve?
I think the most people, they really don't understand what the impact procurement does. I think if you see the translating a project from paper to the reality is the procurement process. You hire the consultant, you hire the contractor, you hire the supplier which implement the project. So really the procurement has very critical part to play in terms of taking the project from the paper to really in the implementation. I think the function is now considered more strategic. Right now, can you imagine we have managing $26 billion portfolio for the procurement and the contract management.
$26
billion of the bank in terms of making the procurement, although it is done by the country, but we ensure that it is done in a proper manner which can deliver a better value for money for the country. Even if we save 1% of this amount, it would be $260 million, where we can create many hospitals and the universities within some of our member countries with this additional resource. So what we are trying to do is to source the procurement in terms of seeing where we can get the better value and also maximizing the impact of these investments that we are making. So we strategically now what we are doing for every project, we see what are the requirements for the procurement and what are the markets available, whether we should source this at the country level, at the regional level, at the international level to get better value for money. But the second, our objective is to also create the trust of the market, to make these processes very credible, transparent, and fair for everybody so they can see the equal opportunity for them to participate. And the third objective is to really build consulting, contracting, and the supplying industry within our member countries. Really, it is very heartening to see the bulk of the resources that we are even investing from our own pockets, and it is benefited by the other countries. 1.7 billion of the contract right now the Chinese firm have for some of our member countries on the project that even our companies can do much better. So that is the reason this is the drain on the resources that which spill out from our member countries. And same resources could create a lot more impact within our economies that we have. Construction industry alone is linked to 123 industry. If you imagine one construction project could really generate the economic activities in terms of the both enhancing contractor consultant, but also promoting the industry which are linked to it, creating employment and also recirculation of the money within your economy. So this is how important it is, the procurement function. And in addition, I have a responsibility for financial management, where we ensure that every dollar we spend, it is used for intended purposes and it delivers the better value for the clients who benefit from our lending. So these fiduciary functions are the strength of the multilateral institutions. If you ask what distinct the MDBs from other financing institutions, is the two things. One is the global knowledge to find a solution to the development challenges, and secondly, very strong fiduciary system. So to ensure that none of the decision making could be wrong, we have the due consultative process and we have the professional judgment in terms of seeing the issue and finding a solution by applying ourselves and delivering better services and the value to our member country. So this is how important it is. Really, it could be impacting in terms of how we manage our procurement process and also ensuring financial compliance with our policies and procedures.
So we're listening to you, Brother Amir Ghabi, about your, passion and motivations, and how your childhood actually changes how even you see world and how you see life.
As I was mentioning, that my circumstances kept me not joining my MBA program, and then I stayed in my hometown to pursue my master's degree in economics. I think that's why it slightly changed my career, but it has really given me the opportunity to work in the development field.
So now here at the Islamic Development Bank, what's the most impactful thing about working here in the development that makes you want to come to work every day and spend the energy and the effort that you are putting?
I think what we see it is transformation that the bank has made in the life of the people. When you go to the country, you see the amount of respect you enjoy as the staff of the Islamic Development Bank. And this has earned respect because we have contributed substantially to transforming these countries, and especially the countries when in difficult time, when all other MDBs, they leave, when you are in crisis, when politically you are not aligned. But this is the institution which stay with you in most difficult time. So I think that's relationship is valued by everybody within these countries, that they see it who was with them in their most difficult time of their history. So this is the one institution which stays there. Secondly, I think what we see, the value that we practice, humanity that we have. I mentioned to you our leadership, the way they have been really helping wherever they go, even if they could not help you through the bank's financing, they have been contributing from their own resources or resources of their friend, at least easing suffering in some of these areas where they see with their eyes what are the difficulties. Even having the basic amenities of life is the challenge for these families. So I have opportunity to visit to a number of countries, poor countries, and seeing how our development project have transformed them, and especially seeing the life before and the life after. It can tell you that our intervention, how impactful these are, and how these transform the life of the millions of people. I've seen the people where they could not study just because they didn't have the electricity. And you go and see the schools which are functioning. You go in the home, people are studying. They're using the electricity for their economic activities, for their personal life, and as well as you see doing the business, and also getting education and using the technologies which is available for them. So a lot of transformation. Even one intervention could have changed the life of many of the societies that these projects benefit. So it gives me a lot of inspiration, and also then it make you to make extra effort, extra mile, when you know what will be the impact of every action that you are taking, seeing the beneficiaries, their current status, and how their life will change because of these actions, give you a lot of energies and more vigor to come fresh, new day with the new objectives, with the new aim that you would like to transform their life.
Thank you so much, Brother Amir. My producers are telling me please round up. So it's been a great pleasure having you, and I do hope that we'll have more opportunities for more conversation. Thank you so much for witnessing ISDB Connect.
Thank you, Brother Jamil, for this opportunity. It was a pleasure to be the part of this podcast. And we all seek inspiration from this institution and pray for its success, and not only in the short term, but the coming generation to benefit from its expertise, its financing, as well as the various instruments and the services it can offer to our member countries. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Highly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this episode of ISDB Connect. And don't forget to always stay tuned and watch ISDB Connect on Wednesdays, premiered here at the Islamic Development Bank. With this, I say, Salamu alaikum wa rahmatuhu wa barakatuh.